TSSF.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is January 8th? January 8th, 2023. I thought I'd do a walk and talk video. It's kind of windy. I really hope it's not going to be too loud. But I'm here in Sydney, BC. Very pretty place. But right now it's kind of, as you can see, overcast and windy and rainy. Although luckily it's not raining right now. I wanted to address a couple things. I wanted to address samples versus patches. I'm going to be talking about that again because I'm going to be making a video about it. I just posted Barrett's theme today, and of course there's more comments about horns not sounding correctly, and that's because I'm using the full patch of the horn instead of the single sample of the horn. What's the difference? Think of the sample as the one sound that the game used, and the patch is a container full of samples, different samples played different pitches, that the game recorded from. So I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't like doing simple restorations where all you do is basically use the same sample, edit it the same way the game used, and throw it into the song. That's boring to me. I will do it if the patch sounds like shit. In my opinion, the horns don't sound great, the stereo ones. I did want to show the difference between the two. And because of that, I'm going to actually post a differences video. It'll be interesting to show how different the music sounds when you do the single patch compared to, or sorry, the single sample when you do compared to the patch. The sample in its entirety sounds very, I'm talking about the horn sample, the French horn sample from the Emulator 3. It sounds very shaky, if that makes sense. The pitch is not constant. When you're doing quick loop samples like the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1 used, you can get around that because the samples aren't as long. They're looped in a way where they're in tune and they're not wavering, unless of course that's the artistic intent of the song that you're making. I wanted to show the difference between what it sounds like when you use the full synthetic patch and the sample, because again, people can't seem to get the difference between the two and the intention of what Synthetic Origins is. Synthetic Origins is not a restoration album. It never claimed to be. Synthetic Origins is an album that plays the music what it would have sounded like if Uematsu-san or Mitsuda-san made the music off of their synthesizers or samplers or romplers instead of using game hardware. Now there's going to be a couple things in the soundtrack where I do take some creative liberties because, again, like I mentioned before, sometimes the entire patch sounds like crap. And that happened a lot. You're going to hear things like the trumpet where there's like 10 or 20 samples and there's only one sample that sounds like it's from the game. Or the flute, where same kind of difference except that the entire flute patch sample sounds like it's recorded with tremolo, like the play style was using tremolo. And that doesn't work in a lot of Final Fantasy VII songs because there's a lot of legato in Final Fantasy VII songs, and when you start changing the pitch of a recorded sound, that tremolo is going to start playing slower or faster depending on the pitch that you play it back on. So that's the whole point. No, I am not going to be making a separate album or restoration project where it's just the samples. If anybody wants that, the databases are around, and it's very, very easy to get a lot of these sounds. That being said, There are some sounds that have not been found yet, and we're just going to be using the game samples in those cases. We're maybe halfway through the project. I have been working on it for 2 years off and on, more exclusively nowadays, and it should be for the most part complete. Like, there's a few sounds that haven't been found, like the drums in Red 13's song and the tambourines and other things. There's things that sound like they could be close, and I've done that in the past. I've used them as placeholders, so I might just do the same thing for now. But when it comes to the final album, when I start doing my final passes on it, I'll probably end up using the game samples and try to make them sound better. A lot of you don't know what the full patch versus sample means. You don't know my intentions on this project. You may not agree with my intentions on this project, but there's going to be other people who might do the same project, but this is my version of it. I'm posting betas right now. That doesn't mean I need constructive criticism on every single video. Like, I learned this the hard way when I did the Chrono Cross restoration song or whatever. There's always going to be somebody who wants to just say, oh, it sounds good, but you know, there's a problem with this. I know. I don't need to hear it in every single video. It's so tiring, so demoralizing, and I'll be 100% honest, it makes me want to quit and just shut down everything. It gets so tiring, so tiring. It's not that I don't want constructive criticism, I get it. But at this point, when you continuously start posting it on every single video, I start wondering why I'm doing this in the first place. Like, I almost want to just quit, you know? After Final Fantasy VII, I'm going to start working on some non-restoration projects, because that's not the kind of musician I totally am all the time. I want to start doing some stuff on my own. I want to start making tutorials. I need the channel to grow. It's really sad that my channel hasn't gotten more than like 5,000 subscribers over the past 12 years. And most of that is my fault, because there's been a lot of years where I went stagnant. I don't know. Maybe I'm not posting the correct kind of content. It's definitely not frequency. I'm posting almost every single day. But it's like, I'm posting niche stuff here, and I want to post some new stuff that I like. But the problem is, now my channel is so flooded with, how do I put this? It's flooded with a bunch of restoration songs and remakes and everything, which is, I mean, that's how I got into the music game in the first place. But it gets old and a little boring, and it's like, not everybody wants to watch those or view those, you know? And I don't know, as you can probably tell, I'm frustrated and trying my ass off. I don't know. We'll decide what's gonna happen soon, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. This kind of turned into a negative rant video. I promise the next one will be better, and I'll try to make the whole, like, the patch versus sample video soon. I'm going to be super busy for the next week or two, and then I'll try to do it. I don't know if I'll get it done by the end of the month, but I'll try. But anyways, thanks so much. I'm going to sign off now. It's getting super windy, and the waves are getting a little violent, so I'm wondering if it's going to start raining again. This camera isn't waterproof. Although if you look in the sky over there, there's a little bit of blue. So it might be all right. Anyways, thanks for everything. I'm sorry I got negative. I'm sorry I got a little preachy, not preachy, but dictatorial and assertive. It's getting tiring, you know? Hearing, it's good, but, and I'm not looking for praise comments either. Hopefully I didn't offend too many people. If I did, I apologize. I'm just one person, you know. I get that on live streams too. It's like, what about this song? What about that song? Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm just going in circles with what I'm saying right now. So anyways, I'll let you guys go. Thanks again, and we'll see you when I get back. Right now I'm just like super busy. I got a new position at work. I've got Infinity I got to work on. I've got a lot of stuff going on that doesn't include YouTube or somewhat of a social life. I wouldn't call it really a social life, but I got that I have to deal with right now. So, yeah. Thank you. Keep around if you want to see some more stuff. And I apologize again. But yeah, please, constructive criticism is great, but constant negativity is demeaning and demoralizing, okay? Just to let you know. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.